Okay, we're gonna try this and see how it goes. So we're gonna do the regular workout that I was going to do today. There's not gonna be any music because I want to be sure that I don't steal, and there's royalties and copyrights that I'm not real clear on, so I will work on that if we keep doing this. I'm also using no equipment today except for a chair, because everybody should have a chair at home to use. And again, if we end up continuing this, then I will use equipment in the future and we'll just go from there. So let's get started. Little genie arms and just knee lifts and pull, pull, and pull. Right up towards those arms. Drop your tailbone. Pull your belly button in towards your spine. And just start warming up. Little pointing of the toes, just as high as your knees are ready to go right now. For 4, 3, 2. The only change, you're just gonna take those arms right up overhead. Same thing, knee pull, pull. Reach tall, pull your belly button into your spine. Drop your tailbone straight down. Just let that breathing start to increase. Just get that body moving. Get that synovial fluid into those joints. 2 more. And then add the arms. Arm pull out to the side. Good, keep those arms nice and wide. Really reach and pull. So the blood starts flowing a little bit faster because it has to go out to the arms and out to the legs. You should start to get a little warmer. Breathing should increase. 4. Good, 2 sets just like that. And then we're gonna add a little twist. Elbow to the knee, elbow to the knee. So same basic move. Just start bringing the torso into it, abs and back, warming it all up. Good, 4 sets like that. Back to those open wide arms. Deep inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. 2 more sets. And bring it in. Take that right leg, drop to the right, left leg, drop to the left. So just a little lateral movement. Warm up those abductors and adductors. So much harder for me without music. So if I lose count and you do 1,000 or something, I'm so sorry. Drop and drop. 2 more on each side. 1 more. And we're just gonna stay to the right. Drop and balance. And balance. Add the arms overhead. 4, 3. Switch. Hold it first, balance. Good, take that knee out and in. Warm up through the hip joint and in. 2 more. Last one, now take it left. Drop and in. Add that balance, drop and up. 2 more. Hold and balance. Add that knee out through the hip. 3, 2. Last one, bring it in and down. 1 deep inhale. Exhale out and bring it all the way down on the mat for me. Good, start with those feet flat on the mat. Reach forward. Lift through the spine like your spine is a slinky and you're trying to create space for those vertebrae. And then roll back and down. 1 little vertebrae at a time. For 4, 3, 2. Inhale those arms up overhead. Exhale and down by your side. Reach for your hips. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. But to keep your airway open, imagine there's a little orange between your chin and your chest. And start your hundreds pat right there. Hands are flat. The movement comes from your shoulders, straight arms. And it's the hundreds because you're going to inhale for 5. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. You can stay right there, or you can lift those knees up into tabletop. Knees are directly over the hips. Ankles are in line with the knees. And if you flex your feet, you can't see your toes up here above your knees, so tuck them down. Make it heavy in the abdominal wall. Push your belly button to the floor, pull your lower back towards the floor. And again, if you would rather, lengthen those legs out. Inhale and exhale. Or you can start to lower the legs. Inhale and exhale. Pull that belly button in and down. Don't let it pop out. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. And pull those knees in. Keep your shoulders raised, or if your neck has had it, just lower your head and shoulders down. Right there, we're gonna go right into double leg stretch. Reach your legs and arms out and circle and tuck them in. Lots of ways to modify this. You can reach more to the ceiling and tuck it in. You can reach more like a 45-degree angle and tuck it in. Or you can reach nice and flat towards the floor and tuck it in. Give me 4, just like that. Like you're taking a hat off, reach overhead. Big circle of the arms, tuck it in. Reach out, circle and tuck, nice tight little ball. 2 more. And circle. Last one. Circle and tuck, pull the knees all the way into your chest. Lower your head and shoulders, 1 foot at a time down on the floor. Drive your feet heavy into the mat for me. Pull your belly button and your lower back down towards the floor. 1 more time, inhale those arms overhead. This time on your exhale, reach your hands as far away from you, down by your hips as you can. And then curl your head and shoulders in. Reach for those heels. Start to set it down, don't quite hit the floor, and come back. Start to set it down and come back. Start to lower down, squeeze and hold. Inhale down, exhale up. For 4, and squeeze lift. 3, squeeze lift. 2, 1 more, hold, hold, hold. Reach for the right heel and the left heel. Reach and reach. So it's like there's a little ball under your shoulder blades, and you're trying to stay nice and light on that little ball, getting your shoulder blades as high as you can, and just rocking side to side. 4 more. 3, 2, 1 more. Little bitty pulses. Lift, lift, hold, hold. Little bitty lift, lift higher, hold. 2 more. Lift, lift higher, hold. Last one, lift, lift a little higher, hold. All the way down. Inhale those arms overhead, deep breath. On your exhale, tuck your chin in towards your chest. If you feel like you would need to, or if you prefer to, grab onto your legs. Roll yourself up towards a seated position. Lift those hands as high as you can. Really make your spine long. Tuck your chin into your chest. Very controlled. Roll all the way down. So try to stop yourself on that down from there being that point where you sort of fall or plop, as I say in my Pilates class. There's no plopping in Pilates. So you want to roll back. Think in your mind sort of 4, 3, shoulder blades 2, head drops on 1. If you would prefer, you can lengthen those legs out, chin into your chest, roll up, and lift, and roll back and down, super slow. Do me a favor, if you're gonna grab onto your legs, grab onto both legs for me. Stay super centered. Think about that center line on your body and roll up right there and roll right back so that you're not grabbing with one leg and sort of throwing yourself off center, but really staying nice and centered through those abdominals. 2 more. Up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Give me 1 more. and roll back and down. 3, 2, and 1. I want you to lift one leg. We're going to do climbing a tree. So you're going to tuck your chin in towards your chest, and you're just going to start to walk your hands up that leg towards seated, and then walk yourself right back down, just like that roll up. So try not to make little red fingerprint marks on the back of your leg. It's not seriously a tree, and you're not really climbing up it. And you're sort of working towards that hovering, not really using your hands, lifting up, and then rolling right back down. Give me one more like that. Roll up towards that lifted leg. Roll right back down. Lower the leg. Inhale, long stretch. Exhale, lift the other leg. Tuck your chin in towards your chest and start to roll up. Little stretch at the top and roll right back down. Same thing. Even though it's called climbing a tree, you're not going to grab on for dear life. You're not going to make little fingerprint marks on the back of that leg. And you're going to work towards that sort of rolling up to seated, not using the arms. And rolling back down. Last one. Roll up. Roll back down, lower that leg, inhaling arms overhead. Good, pull those knees in one at a time, or both. Grab behind your legs and rock and roll yourself up to seated for me. Good, I want you to lift one leg, twist towards it, lift and center. Lift the other leg, twist towards that lifted leg, and down. Lift, twist, and down. Lift. If you would prefer, you can lift both legs. So you lift, twist to one side, center, drop the feet. Lift, other side, drop the feet. Or you can stay up and twist, center, twist. Give me 4 little sets right there. So one side, other side. That's one set. Other side. That's halfway, 2 sets. Twist, center, twist. One more each side. Twist, center, twist, center. Bring those feet in and sit yourself all the way up. Nice job. All right, roll yourself around for an elbow plank. To get you into your elbow plank, I want you to start on hands and knees. I want you to pull your belly button up towards your spine and feel like you're sort of puffing your lower back or pushing it towards the ceiling. Good. Right where your hands are underneath your shoulders, I want you to shift forward and put your elbows right there directly underneath your shoulders. Take your right leg, shoot it straight back. Make the straightest line possible from that right shoulder to the right heel. Don't move anything from your shoulders to your hips. Just shoot that left foot back and hold right there. In that elbow plank, feel like you're sort of puffing up between your shoulder blades. We're here for 1 minute. Pull your belly button in towards your spine. Don't let it push out towards the floor. Pull your lower back up towards the ceiling. Now, if you need to release a little bit and pull your hips up, that is totally acceptable. Bring it back in. But if you drop your knees, you will realize that the minute your knees hit the floor, your abs and back release from this position, and we really want to get into the abs and back. So you are already over 30 seconds in, and you have 30 seconds to go. Feel like you kind of push your bottom down, pull your lower back up, squeeze your belly button in towards your spine. Do that little Kegel squeeze, that little internal tightening that makes your abs super duper tight for you. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, you're almost there. Drop your knees, push with your hands, sit all the way back into child's pose. Hips on the heels, a little stretch through those legs. Good, we're gonna go into a full plank, and I'm gonna kind of move around in the hopes of giving you the best idea of what's going on. So again, start in that tabletop position, but move yourself forward so that your hands are at the front part of wherever you're gonna be working, your rug, your carpet, your mat, your towel, any of that works. Puff up between your shoulder blades, same thing. Feel like there's a little fire burning right here, And you're just trying to scoop your belly button up away from this fire so that you don't get burned. Shoot your right foot back. Shoot your left foot back. Hold, hold, hold. Now in this one, because we're gonna add movement, if you feel like you need, drop to your knees, but as you do so, resist this little bottom sticking out position. Really press your hips forward and pull your belly button and your lower back up for me. Good. I want you to swing one leg and the other leg. I want this to be so small that if you were on a little yoga mat or a towel, you'd be just outside and just outside. It's really about smaller, not larger movements. So really think about 2 inches and 2 inches. Little bitty swing, little bitty swing. Give me 4 sets right there. Keep your gaze right in between your fingertips. I'm not doing anything wild and crazy worth watching. Little swing, little swing. 2 more sets. 2, swing, 1, last one. Take your right hand, place it right underneath your nose in the center. Twist your hips as much as you can towards the side. Come back. Walk both hands underneath the shoulders and switch left hand to the center. Shift your weight to try to stack your hips, stack your shoulders, and bring it back in. If you're on your knees, lift your feet for me. Place that hand in the center. Rock to the side of the knee. Lengthen the top leg and arm out. Tuck it back in. Find a really good plank before you switch. Center. Shift and lengthen. Bring it back in. Good. Center. Twist. Center. Switch. Little twist. And center. 1 more set and you're there. Center one hand. Twist and face. Lift the other hand. And switch, twist, and switch. Now whether you're on your knees or on your feet, you're gonna give me a little dip, same thing. It's like an inch. It's really more of a squeeze, squeeze. Same thing right here, 4, 3, 2, go through center, switch to the other side. I'm gonna try and not leave my little booty towards you for too long. And lift, 3, little squeeze, it's so small. Same thing if you're on that knee, little squeeze. Think about the obliques, these little side muscles, 2, 1, back to center, drop the knees, sit back into child's pose. 1 deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Walk yourself back out. Hands are as wide as your mat. So if you have a little beach towel or something narrow enough, your pinkies might be on the edge of that. Middle finger is facing forward. Crease of the elbows is towards the wall in front of you. Shift those hips down back into that knee plank. Tuck your toes under for me so the weight is not touching your kneecaps at all. Good. I want you to bend your elbows in a tricep push-up. That means your elbows come back by your rib cage and right back up. If you would prefer, be on your toes. Bend the elbows. Straighten the elbows. 2 more slow. Drop and lift. 1 more nice and slow. Drop. Pull your belly button into your spine. Drop your bottom, but lift your lower back. And then give me 10, nice and fast. Drop and lift. 8, 9, 8. Apparently I was ready for it to be done. 7, 6. Try to keep the elbows right here. 5. Really tuck them in. 4, 3. Last 2. Hold. Sink back. 1 deep inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Then do me a favor, tuck your toes under, lift your hips with your hands right there into downward facing dog. Downward facing dog is really an active stretch. So your heels drive down, your bottom sort of lifts up. You push your rib cage towards your thighs, push with your hand and just let your head hang between your arms. Good, bend your knees as much as you need to walk your hands in towards your feet. Hang and forward fold for one deep breath. And on your exhale, tuck your belly button into your spine and roll all the way up. Good. If you prefer to grab little hand weights or water bottles or a can of beans or soup because you've overstocked on them, I don't know. Grab whatever you're gonna grab. Otherwise, just use your hands and create resistance. So when you create a movement, squeeze your arm as if you're holding something heavy and squeeze your arm when you come back down. Nice and slow, big circle, reach your thumbs towards each other overhead and back in and down. So kind of imagine you're between two panes of glass and you're gonna try and get those arms go straight overhead, lift, lift, lower, lower, really squeeze, lift, elbows try to come all the way to the rib cage, lift, and lower. 4 more. Inhale on the up, exhale on the down. 3. Now something you'll notice about bar workouts is that it's more about endurance than strength. So if you did grab something with a little weight to it, you're really not gonna need a lot because it's really small movements, but a whole lot of them. So this time, whenever you come in, I want you to squeeze like you're trying to tuck your elbows right behind your rib cage, little bitty. Squeeze and squeeze. 6, 5, 4, 3. You're gonna give me 2 of these and then you're gonna hold. So it's 2, 1, hold, release. 2, 1, hold. Think about the squeeze, squeeze, hold. Try not to think about what your kids are doing right now. Squeeze, hold. Try not to make your next grocery list. Squeeze, squeeze. Try not to think about when your hairdresser will finally be open again. Squeeze, hold. Think about where those arms are squeezing. Hold. 4 more. Squeeze, squeeze. Hold it tighter. Give me that extra 1 inch on that squeeze. Hold, release. 2 more. Squeeze, squeeze, hold it, release. Last one. Squeeze, hold. Now so small. I want that little bitty. Pull your shoulder blades. Pull with your elbows. Squeeze the entire arm. 4, 3, 2. Right there, lengthen those arms out. Turn your palms up. Good, reach both arms in, out. So it's as if you were going to touch your shoulders and straighten. Don't cheat yourself out of the end of that movement, but actually really extend those arms. Out, full extend. In and out, full extend. 4, in, full extend. 3, 2 more. Shoulders and biceps. 1 more. Now alternate. Left and right. Left and right. Think about where you're squeezing. Remember, keep the mind in the muscle. You could just swing your arms around all day and not get anything out of it, or you could really squeeze and make it count. 3, 2, 1 more. Hold both arms out, teeny tiny. Press, press. Where are you squeezing? Where are you thinking about? Right here. Squeeze, squeeze, little bitty. Think like an inch, teeny tiny. How much do you want trimmed off of your hair? That big of a move right there. 4, 3, 2, static hold. Straighten the elbows as much as you can. 3, 2, hold right there. Bring those elbows in and then tuck them in nice and close, like your pinkies and elbows have a magnet pulling them together, and then alternate right and left. Still working through those biceps, just from a different direction. Press and press. Remember, I want you to think about endurance. If you picked up weights and you're now second guessing it, and you're like, maybe these weights weren't the best idea for me, and it's okay to set them down. If you picked up weights and you're like, this is all she's got, pick up heavier weights. It's totally okay. Alternate. 4, 3, 2. Now it's the same thing that we did straight out to the side. It's teeny squeeze. Think about tightening, squeezing right there. Remember, endurance. Just keep those arms going. 6, 5. So small. Smaller. 3, 2. Same thing. Extend out. Start to drop those hands forward. Straighten those elbows. 3, 2, and 1. Bring those down. Lift and lower. Right into the shoulders. Lift and lower. Lift. Keep the arms up, and it's like you're hugging a tree. Squeeze in and open. 3. Make those elbows as high and wide as you can. 1 more. This time, bring it in. Make a little fist for me and press your knuckles against each other. Keep those elbows up. Don't let them drop in. Press and release. Press. So your arms are fighting against each other, working your chest. Just like if you were laying flat on a bench and you're kind of doing a chest press. Same feeling. Squeeze through those pectoral muscles. Squeeze. Squeeze. You don't have to pull your hands apart. I just want you to see the difference. 3, 2. Now, just like we did to the back, we're going to do that squeeze, squeeze, hold. So it's 2, 1, hard as you can, release. 2, 1, hardest squeeze you have, release. 2, 1, squeeze, release. 2, 1, squeeze. 2 more. 2, 1, squeeze, release. 2, 1. Now keep the press between the knuckles as hard as you can and pulse. Little tiny presses. Never fully release. Keep the arms really tight. Keep the elbows high and wide. 4, 3, 2, 1. Straight arms out. So it's like you're going to stack one arm on top of the other. Little lift. Little lift. They don't have to cross. You can just lift straight forward. Lift. Nice and small. Little walk of those arms. Make the elbows as straight as you can. Maybe reach your fingertips out a little bit wider. Now imagine there's heavy weights or buckets full of sand on the end of your hands, and resist lift. Resist lift. 3. Lift. 2. Lift. Keep those hands right there. Just bend those elbows into little 90-degree angles and teeny tiny lift and lift. Stay in those arms. Stay in the shoulders and the biceps. Press and press. You have 4 little bitty sets. Pull your belly button in. Don't stick your bottom out. 2. Smile, it's not that bad. 1. And then both arms lift. Little bitty. This time, instead of an inch, make it like a centimeter lift. Can you bring your fingertips to touch? Can you bring your elbows to touch? 4. Press. 3. You're almost there. 2. Just the right arm. 8, 7, 6, 5. Come on, endurance. 4, like a marathon. 3, keep going. 2. Left arm. 8, 7. Squeeze your bicep. Think about where you're working. 4, 3, 2. Static hold. Keep it up. Maybe squeeze them to touch. 3, 2, and 1. Release that and shake it out. Nice. Reach the one arm overhead, little stretch through that tricep. Try to keep your chin up, so instead of looking at the floor, look towards the ceiling for me. And then lean away from that little arm. Good. Swing that arm around forward. Bring your fingertips down. A little stretch through that bicep. Plural, they're bi. Place the hand down towards the floor. And then switch right over the other side. Arm overhead, tuck that hand in, grab onto that elbow. Try to keep your chin lifted and not let it drop down towards the floor. Lean away from that arm for 3, 2. And then bring it forward, fingertips down. And then switch it over, fingertips down. Interlace your fingers, press them forward, chin to chest, stretch through the back of your neck and through your arms. And release. Good. Move your chair close enough to you that you can grab it behind you. Doesn't matter if it's a bar chair or if you're grabbing a kitchen counter. You can even move yourself all the way back and just place your hands against the wall for this. It's completely up to you. I'm just using a chair because that's too far back and there's a piano in the way. Good. Point your right foot forward. Lift your right hand overhead, and it's like a big old chop forward, like you're trying to reach for the leg, and release. Reach, and release. We're gonna do 8 of these, and that's 5, so you're halfway there. You have 4, 3, 2, hold it out. The arm and the leg are forward, nice and slow. 1 inch, and release. 1 inch, and release. 6, 5, see, you're halfway. 4 more right there. Keep it nice and small, nice and slow. 2, 1, now little pulses. Move the arm, move the leg. 4 like that, pulse. 3, 2, lift the leg high as you can. Reach that arm forward, hold, don't move at all. Stop the shaking. 2, and 1, arm comes overhead, little bend of the knee, and press. So if you could see me from the side, teeny tiny bend, push the heel, bend, and press. 4, press. 3, 2, press faster for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop that down. Use that chair for balance. Grab onto that foot if you can. Tuck your hips forward. Stretch through that hip flexor for 3, 2, and switch right over the other side. Left arm overhead. Reach the left leg forward, nice and slow. Lift and lower. There's just 8 of them. Reach for the leg and lower. Reach. Good, that's halfway. 4, 3, 2 more. Hold this one out. Little bitty. Lift, lower. Move the arm and the leg. Pull yourself tall. Try not to lean too hard on that chair or wall. 4, 3, slow and strong. Now tempo. 8, 7, 6, 5. That's funny tempo because there's no music. 3, 2, hold, hold, hold. Start to lift that hand overhead. Don't move. 3, you can do this. 2, little bend to the knee and press. Bend, push with the heel. Like there's a heavy door and you're pushing it close with that heel. Really resist, press. 4, press. 3, 2, now tempo on those presses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, almost there. 2, and 1, bring that down. Grab that heel, tuck it in towards your bottom, press your hips forward. Little stretch, deep breath, and exhale. Good. Grab that chair with one hand facing perpendicular to your chair. Good. I want you to lift your heels. If at any point this doesn't work for your feet, your heels don't have to be lifted to do this. Squeeze your knees towards each other like you're holding a heavy brick between your knees, or there's sort of a magnetic pull between your knees. And then sit back like you're gonna sit down into a chair wearing the highest stiletto heels you've ever worn. And if you're a guy, I'm real sorry for that. Lift your hand up overhead. And you're just gonna drop and lift. Now try to keep your gaze forward towards the mat so that your top of your head is in line with your spine. If you feel like you're kind of sticking your bottom out here, press your bottom down towards the floor. You might have heard some bar instructors tell you to tuck. Not a super big fan of that. I really rather you feel like your tail goes down towards the floor and not really with your hips tucked forward so much. It's sort of a more natural place to work. 2. Hold, hold, hold. Squeeze your knees in like they're gonna tap, and then lift a little bit out of that chair. Squeeze your knees to tap, lift a little bit out of the chair. Little squeeze of knees, little lift, little squeeze. Ideally, you've gotten to that point where your legs are starting to shake a little bit for me. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. 2 more. Tap. Last one. Bring that hand down to your hip. I want you to go lower. 3, 2, 1. Halfway up. 3, 2, only come halfway up. 3, 2, pull your belly button into your spine. Push your back out and your bottom down. 3, 2, and come up. 2 more. 3, I came all the way up. Don't do that, come halfway. Stop. 3, 2, halfway, and then right there, give me that 1 inch. Remember when I said earlier, how much would you like cut off of your hair? That's how big your move is. Don't make it so big that you now have a crew cut. 4, 3, you're almost there. Slow, lift, low, lift, lowest you can hold. Lift those heels if you can. Try to find that little shaky point. Don't move except for the shaking. And then teeny tiny pulse, lift. As you do so, can you take that arm forward? Can you reach it overhead? 4 more. 3, 2. Don't give up. Don't give up. You can do this. Lift that arm up a little bit higher. Oh, I'm shaking like a leaf. Feel like you're leaning back now. 3, 2, halfway up. Just 4 of these. 3, 2, come up. 3, lean back. 2. Oh, I shake so bad if I lean back. 3, 2, drop down. 3, 2, lift that arm higher. Lean back a little more. Give me that 1 inch and drop. 7, 6, breathe through it. You can do it. It's a minute battle. 5, I'm kind of talking to myself. 4, 3, 2, lean back more. Pulse. 7, 6, almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, drop the heels. Drop yourself forward over those legs. Deep inhale. Exhale, tuck your belly button into your spine and roll all the way up to standing. Switch the hand on the chair for me, just so that you're even on the arm working overhead. But we're switching our move a little bit. We're gonna still releve, but I want you to pull your heels together like they're glued together. And I want you to think the whole time, my heels are going to stay pushing against each other. I'm not gonna let them separate here. I'm gonna keep them glued together. So lift up into that little releve and do what's called a diamond squat. So your knees go as much out to the side over your toes as possible and lift. Drop, drop, lift, lift. Drop for 2, lift for 2. 4 little sets. Drop and lift. Drop. Belly button in towards your spine. Remember that little Kegel squeeze we were doing where we tightened your abdominals at the beginning? Do that for me as you drop. Tailbone down, but not really tucked under. Drop and lift. Squeeze those heels. Drop. Hold right there. Push your heels as hard as you can against each other. And then little bitty butterfly, open those knees. Like teeny tiny butterfly wings. So small. Squeeze in your bottom. Squeeze in your hips and your hip flexors. 4, 3, 2. We're doing that 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Lift, lower. How small can you make your lift and lower? Don't lean too much on that chair. Test your balance. Squeeze your heels together. Drop your tailbone. Stand up tall, lift through your chest. All right, here's the one time I'm going to tell you to tuck. Drop low, pull the knees back, tuck your hips, and rock them back. Rock forward and back. Forward. Squeeze those heels, open those knees, drop 1 inch lower for 4, 3, 2, all the way down, all the way up. Add the arm and lift. 7. Think about those knees wide as you can get them. Pull them towards your back wall. 4, 3, you've got this. Take it down and hold. Take the arm overhead and pulse. Little bitty. So small. How hard can you push your heels against each other? How strong can you pull those knees open wide? 4, 3, 2. All the way up and drop those heels down. Good little figure 4 stretch. One ankle across the knee. Sit back till you feel that stretch in your hip and your abductor and your adductor, the inner and outer thigh. And release and switch. Other side, little stretch. Good, we're gonna throw a teeny tiny little stretching series right here in the middle. So catch your breath. The foot closest to the chair, I want you to walk it forward. Shift your other foot back and then drop that knee down into a nice little lunge position. Shift your weight back enough that your hip flexor, this front part of the leg, is where you're really feeling that stretch. Good. Now straighten that back knee and bend only the front knee. Drop your heel down, stretch through your calf and Achilles tendon. Good. Take this outside hand, reach it towards the floor or towards your shin, or if you prefer, just place it on your thigh. Good. Take this front arm and lift, or that arm on the chair, and lift towards the ceiling. On your inhale, reach overhead. On your exhale, reach towards that back foot. Good. Straighten that front leg as much as you can into a triangle stretch. Good. Bend your knees as much as you need to walk your feet in so that they're side by side, reaching for your thighs, your shins, maybe your feet or the floor. Start to straighten those knees as much as you can, and then shift your weight over to one hip. One deep breath, and over to the other hip. One deep breath. Right in the center for one deep breath. Now tuck your belly button into your spine and sort of imagine that your spine, your vertebrae are little teacups, and you're stacking them one on top of the other as you come all the way up to standing. And then switch sides for me. Same leg that's closest to the chair is going to step forward. You're going to start by bending both knees and dropping down for me. Shift your shoulders over your hips and those hips forward. Maybe even look to the ceiling so you feel this little stretch right here in the hip flexor. Good. Now straighten that back leg. Bend really far into that front leg. Drive your back heel in and down towards the floor so you're getting that calf stretch. Good. You can reach for your thigh, your shin, or maybe even the floor. And then take the hand from the chair and twist and reach it to the ceiling for me. Beautiful, right there. Inhale, overhead that arm. Back up to the ceiling. Reach it towards your back foot. And bring it back in. Good. Both hands this time on the thigh, shin, or maybe the floor, and start to straighten that front leg into that triangle stretch. Good. Bend your knees as much as you need. Step that back foot in. Straighten your legs. Same thing as before. Shift your weight over to one hip. And then shift your weight over to the other hip. And remember, as if you were stacking your vertebrae one on top of the other like little teacups, roll that back all the way up until you're standing nice and tall. And one. Good. Take that chair for me and move it to the front of your mat. And right there, I want you to take one leg, shoot it straight back behind you, and then out to the side. So like if your mat was lined up with your chair, or if you could see where the chair went, it would be slightly out to the side. You're going on a diagonal, like on a clock, we're going at 7 or 8 o'clock-ish. Flex your foot and squeeze. Squeeze. Squeeze your bottom and let that be what lifts your leg. So it's not about swinging your leg up and lifting it. It's just about squeeze and release. 4 right there. 3, 2, leave the toes on the floor, squeeze the bottom, squeeze the bottom. Think about it, put your mind in the muscle. Where are you working? 4, 3, this time with the toes pointed, so you're pushing out through the toes, squeeze just enough that it barely clears the floor. It's that 1 inch. Squeeze, teeny tiny, squeeze, squeeze. Pull your belly button in, push your tailbone down. Stay tall, push away from the wall or chair that you're holding on to. Just like we did with the arms, you're gonna squeeze, squeeze, tightest squeeze you can, hold, release, squeeze, squeeze, hold that, and release, squeeze, squeeze, hold, 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 belly button in, stand tall, really strong that supporting leg hold. Last one, keep the squeeze right there in your glute, flex your foot, bend the knee a little bit and press. Just like we did on that hip flexor where we were sort of pressing it out, same thing, push it away from you. More on the diagonal than straight back. Press, 4, 3, light on that chair, 2. Now slow it down, press, bend, 7, bend, 6, 5, squeeze your bottom, 4, work those glutes and hamstrings, 3, 2, isometric hold. Squeeze as tight as you can back there, push as hard as you can through that heel, check your balance, and release that down, shake it out. Switch right over to the other side. So push that foot back behind you and then sort of shift it out to the side. So now we're at, say, 5 o'clock. Flex your foot and little bitty squeeze and lower. So you start with that lift, but really don't think about swinging your leg up. Think about just squeezing right there at the back of your leg, right there where most of us would like to work and maybe change the shape a little bit. 4, 3, 2, place the toe down and just squeeze without it leaving the floor. Squeeze, squeeze. Foot doesn't even leave the floor. You're just putting your mind in that muscle and really thinking about where you're squeezing for the rest of this exercise. Remember, it's slightly out to the side. 2. Now point the toes, push out through them, and squeeze enough that it kind of clears the floor. Squeeze. 6, 5, it's just an inch. The smaller your movements are on this, actually the more you're gonna get out of them. 3, out to the side, 2, 1, hold it up, flex your foot, teeny, just kidding, still point your toes, squeeze, squeeze, hold, and release, squeeze, squeeze, hold, and release, squeeze, squeeze, hold, and release, squeeze, squeeze, hold. So squeeze, give me that extra inch of tightness, and release, squeeze, squeeze, hold, and release, squeeze, squeeze, hold, release. Am I running out of time?
Good, 10 minutes.
Squeeze, squeeze, hold, and release. Now flex the foot, little bend and press. Teeny tiny push. That extra inch out behind you, kind of diagonal. Bend and really press and squeeze. That's why you did those first few exercises, so you're really thinking about where you're squeezing. 4, 3, 2, same move, it's just slower. Press, hold, and release. Squeeze, push out with your heels, straighten your knee, and release. Press, squeeze, and release. Press, squeeze, and release. Press, squeeze, and release. Almost there. Press, really squeeze, really straighten that knee, and release. Push harder through your heel. Press on that diagonal, push it away from you, and release. 2 more. Press, squeeze, and release. Last one. Static hold. Squeeze your bottom. Squeeze those glutes and hamstrings. Check your balance. Belly button in. Tailbone down. It's not sticking your little bottom out. And release. Shake that out. Good. Take your chair. Place it right in front of you. Don't really want to stick my bottom out at you, but you sort of kind of need to see where we're going with this. On your chair or on the wall, give me those same little genie arms that you did at the beginning. Go ahead and set them down on that chair or wall. Point your legs straight back behind you this time. So now it's not out to the side, it's straight back. Flex your foot and lean far enough forward that your lower back is not doing the work. Pull your belly button in and up. Press your lower back to the ceiling and little bitty squeeze and release. Again, think about where you're working. You're not thinking about moving your leg as much as you're thinking about that really tight squeeze on the back of the leg. 4, 3, 2, back to the squeeze, squeeze, hold. Squeeze, squeeze, hold, and release. Squeeze, squeeze, hold, and release. Squeeze, squeeze, hold, and release. Squeeze. So if at any point you decide your lower back is not having it, you can be down here. Squeeze, squeeze, hold, and release. Squeeze. If your lower back's not bothering you, stay standing, stay on that chair for these last 2. Squeeze, squeeze, hold, and then the little bitty pulses. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it up. Just straighten and bend. 7, pull your belly button towards the ceiling. Press your lower back in and up. 4 more. Bend. 3, 2. On this next one, leave it out. Take that flexed foot, point the toe, and draw small circles. 8, smaller, like the size of a dime. Just enough circle that you squeeze your bottom, squeeze the back of the leg. 3, 2, reverse that circle for me. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, teeny tiny circles, don't make them too big, and then little bitty pulse lift. So small. Can you bend that supporting leg? This one down here holding you up. Can you lift that heel? 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring those feet together. Shift your hips back. Little bitty L stretch. And switch right over to the other side. Okay, so I have a chair with rollers, but I also have this sticking up. But if you have a chair that moves, then you know you're not going to overly lean on it because you don't want to fall on your face. So I don't really recommend a chair with rollers, but I also don't recommend something that's gonna make it too easy for you. Flex that foot towards the ceiling, little bitty lift and lower. Squeeze and lower. Now for some of us, if we really move our leg a lot, we start to feel almost a crunching in our lower back, and you really, really, really want to avoid that. So you really want to make it, instead of a movement, just a squeeze of the muscle and release. Squeeze and release. It's all about the back of the leg. Keep it out of the lower back. 3, 2, same thing we've done the whole time. Squeeze, squeeze, hold, release, squeeze, squeeze, hold, release. Remember, I showed you that you could be on your hands and knees for this instead of on the chair. Squeeze, squeeze, hold, release. 4 more. Squeeze, tighter, hold, release. Tight, tightest, hold. 2 more. Squeeze, squeeze, hold. Last one. Squeeze, squeeze, hold it up, and straighten the leg and bend. 7, 6, pull up through the lower back, pull the belly button in, kind of puff up your back. 4, 3, 2 more. Press it out, point the toes, teeny tiny circles for 8. The size of a dime, so small. The smaller the movement, the more the squeeze in the muscle. 3, 2, and other way. Almost there. 4, 3. Remember those teeny tiny pulse lifts, smallest little squeeze that you can make. Bend that supporting leg if you can. Lift the heel if you can. 4, 3, you're almost there, you got this. 2, and 1. Bring it all the way in. Cross one ankle over, sit back, little figure 4 stretch, and lift. Little figure 4 stretch, and lift. If you can't, place the foot on the chair. You could always turn it and place it lower on the chair if you would prefer. Start to straighten that knee and reach for that chair. A little stretch on that hamstring and glute. Maybe flex your foot. Maybe put your heel on top. Gently release that. Switch. Place the other foot on. Just start to straighten your knee as much as your body's going to allow. Maybe flex through that foot. Reach for it. And then one more time into that hinge downward dog or little L stretch. Step away from the chair, reach for it. Shift your hips back. Drop your head between your arms. Let your neck release. For 4, 3. Roll like a little cat back and drop it back down, look up. Last time, little cat back and look up. And then this time on the cat back, release the hands, roll all the way up standing. Good, 1 deep breath. Exhale out. Per the norm, I didn't get through all my exercises, so there'll be another video to go with this that will have the abs and other stuff. Stretch like your fingertips are going to scratch against the wall behind you. Really open through that chest. And thank you if you made it this far for watching.